what's up everybody? I'm Mr. Gini and we are at the Stone Harbor Classic and Vintage Car Show. So this is 96th Street here. This is kind of the main drag of Stone Harbor. So yeah, they have the street closed off and they don't have too many, it's not too big of an event, but they got some really cool looking cars here. I mean, typically the shows that I've been to, the classic car shows have mostly been American cars, which is cool. But this one, it looks like I see a couple of I got some Euro cars over there, some European cars over there, so that should be kind of cool to see. So anyway, we're gonna go and walk down the street and check out some cars. Wow, look at that beautiful interior. Isn't that gorgeous? You know, I just love, I love how they color coordinate, you know, the that whole dash with the outside of the car, and then you have kind of the you have kind of that silver looking gauge cluster there. And I just love how those gauges are just kind of encompassed inside that sort of that cylindrical looking gauge cluster there. It's really beautiful. What a nice interior. So we got a BMW Z3 here. This is something a little different. I don't think I've seen any of these at previous car shows I've been to. Let's look at the interior of this. So nice, you know, got more of the luxury concept going here. Beautiful beige leather, and you kind of have that wooden paneling, typical of you know, British cars, and I'll say European too, maybe in general, perhaps at least in this Z3 here. So yeah, very nice. Maybe a walk around here. All right. So check out this beautiful 1958 Austin Healey here. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. I went to the a car show in Delaware, near Lewes, Delaware. It was a British car club, British car club car show basically. Get the name wrong and everything, but I saw a car kind of like this. It was a blue one. I think it was an Austin Healey 3000 that I saw, but this is the 106. It's named that because it goes 100 miles an hour. And it has a inline six engine in it, and yeah, this thing's absolutely stunning. And these cars actually used to be handmade, and then at some point they start mass producing them, and then from there they weren't quite as popular as when they were handmade. But I thought that was an important point to point out about this car. But yeah, I was talking to the owner. You can see him in the background, but he did a really nice job preserving this car. So yeah. So I know I panned over this interior already, but yeah, one thing I noticed is that you don't have the wooden paneling that the other British cars do. Actually, look at it, it's all leather. That's kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever seen something like this before. You kind of have leather, you know, kind of on the dash. Like in most of the American classics, you have metal. You have metal on the dash, and that, to me, it kind of symbolizes the pride and workmanship of the American cars. But this is completely different. This is, you know, a leather dash. You're just going all out luxury here. So then you have the, you know, steering wheel. It's a little larger, slightly larger steering wheel than I guess maybe modern day, I'm guessing. And then you have the leather seats here, beige leather seats. But this whole entire cabin looks like it's all leather. But yeah, that's, you know, pretty much screaming luxury here. But what a beautiful car. So check this out. You have a 1973 Jaguar E-Type Series 3 here. So these cars are made from 1971 to 1975, and this car has a V12 in it. So you have this kind of small looking car with a V12 engine in it. This is gorgeous. And kind of what I was talking about earlier, I just noticed that this car will seem to have some more European classics, and I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for those. Now I've grown to really love the American classics. And you can see that in my videos too. I kind of go through a lot of descriptive detail we talk about the classic cars, and I've kind of noticed the workmanship, but there's something about the way these European cars are shaped, and maybe it's because the first car I kind of fell in love with was a Volkswagen GTI, and then kind of from there, I kind of became, kind of started falling in love with the European cars. I should back up a little bit because the car I was in love with most was the Lamborghini Countach. So even earlier than on, I was kind of always in the kind of the Italian cars or the European cars. But I think now I guess my love for European cars is growing even more. So, but in any case, let's talk about the Jaguar a little bit. So check out the front of this car. Look at that front grille. It kind of gives you Aston Martin vibes a little bit, just from that front grille, and even Alfa Romeo vibes a little bit. But I just think that the nose of this car looks more pronounced, and that's probably because they had to fit that whole V12 engine in there. But I think that's kind of what makes this car particularly stand out, is this whole like front nose here, and just how elongated it is. And then again, you have those lights. I'm going to pan back over here. Kind of something in common that a lot of the classic cars have in common. You just have like those very simplistic lights. Like the lights now are much more complex, but I kind of like these lights. They just, again, it's like the car's just glaring right at you. And then also talking about just kind of this front hood, you have like some of the, I guess, air vents, the paneling, the front hood paneling here. And what I really want to talk about is the interior. Look at that interior. Look how sporty that looks. So I'm going to guess that steering wheel is not OEM, but who cares? Look at that stick too. I mean, this car looks so sporty. Like the Austin Healey that I was just looking at, to me was much more luxurious looking. This also has a leather dash as well too. So, well, at least the top part's leather. Hard to tell what the actual dash is. Maybe that's also, I can't tell if that's a leather or not. I can't tell. But this dash looks a lot sportier because you have like that. You have the gauge cluster here. Then you have like kind of much more pronounced gauge cluster, and you have all the you have all those switches over there. So again, it just looks a lot more complex. Almost looks like a fighter jet a little bit. It's just a lot more, a lot more complexity, a lot more going on the dash. So yeah, very beautiful car. So check out this 1941 Chevy pickup. I kind of want to point this out because it's a bit of a little change up from the two European, almost like sports cars that we just went over. So we're kind of back to the kind of American now pickup, a totally different totally different genre and totally different type of car here. But this thing is beautiful. Look at the two-tone on the paneling you have over here. You have like a black. You have sort of this black going on over here, just kind of on the bottom part, just kind of covering the wheelbase basically. Oops, let me pan down here. You have this kind of black going on here, and then right up here you kind of have this like a dark blue going on here. So this is really beautiful. So I want to show you something else too. Hang tight. Oh, they have the Chevrolet written right on the back of the pickup, and then look at that paneling. So again, we kind of saw a lot of these when we were at the Ocean City car show, and I just love that. I just really love that wooden paneling, the wood paneling with the with the metal. With the metal stripes on it. This is really, really beautiful, and I just love the attention to detail. I want to check out the interior, but I just want to pan out on the exterior of this car. I just love the shape of this car. I love the wheels. I love how you have the wheels and you have kind of the spare wheel just kind of hanging on the outside, and then you kind of have those really pronounced. Again, the whole bottom part of the panel is very, very pronounced. That's kind of why I like it in black, because it makes it even more pronounced. But anyway, let's talk about the interior a little bit. So, nice looking cabin here, and then again, it's very simplistic but beautiful. Look at the size of that steering wheel, and again, probably because it's a truck. And then you also have look at that old font. See the font over there? Look how old that font is. I wonder if I can pan in on it a little bit. I'm going to try to pan on this font. So check that out. So this is kind of similar to that really old truck that I saw out in Pennsville, New Jersey. That Salem County Road Knights car cruise. There was that one truck that kind of had that old font, so that's kind of similar. So you kind of have something similar going on here. Very, very old font, very old retro, not even retro, vintage type of dash here. That's just so cool to see. Again, very different from just the European sports cars we just looked at. You got this beautiful 1969 Chevy Camaro. Look at that, wow. And I love how you have the American flag. The emblem of the American flag right on the side of the car there. That's just beautiful. There's the American flag there. And you have the Camaro on there. Then check out this. Oh wow, look at that interior. My goodness, I just love that. Let me go on the other side real quick. Look at that, you got the duckbill on there. Just kind of adds a little bit to the aggressiveness of the car. Then just look at this interior. Again, this is the thing I just love about the American Classics, is how they just kind of match the interior to the exterior, and the interior is so bright. You just have like this, it's kind of like a maroonish red here, but it's so bright. And look at the, again, this is the kind of common thing I've seen with a lot of the classics, how you have the dash just kind of angled away. That's just kind of, that's so cool. Then you have the gauge cluster that's recessed there. That's just such a unique design. And look at the size of that, the console. The console's just kind of just sort of domineering, even though it's kind of laying flat like that. Just look at that gear shifter. It looks aggressive. You know, kind of in a different way. It's sporty, but not sporty in the European way. Not like there's like no finesse. It's all about aggressiveness, size, and just being imposing. So again, when you look at this, look at the inside of this car. That whole dash is very big and very imposing. And even though like that gauge cluster, it's sort of angled away, it's just imposing. The steering wheel's imposing. Yeah, and the whole stance of this car is imposing. But yeah, what a beautiful car. So I was just kind of panning back to see the cars we went over. There's that Camaro again. And check this out. You have a 2006 Chrysler here. This, I've never seen anything like this at any classic car show. And admittedly, this car isn't very old, you know, relatively speaking. But I just love that blue. And I just love that kind of looking, that the whole like convertible thing going there. And you kind of have that bar, that kind of bar at the top of that car. It's really nice looking. Look at that. So yeah, this is a Chrysler PT Cruiser, 2006 Chrysler PT Cruiser. So I've never seen any one of these at any of the car shows I've been to. But again, I just love that blue. Let's kind of pan in here. So I was talking about the bar here. I just love that bar on there. It just kind of adds to the look of the car here. And then that's a cool looking interior. So again, you know, obviously a lot more technology going on here. And look at that. That's kind of, look at that cluster. It gives you a little Aston Martin vibes here. Look at this. Yeah, look at that kind of this console going on here. Just kind of gives you Aston Martin vibes a little bit. I know it's kind of, you're laughing at, you kind of comparing this to an Aston Martin, but just, you know, just obviously the Aston Martin, that their dash is a little bit kind of angled more, if I recall correctly. But this one is sort of like, it just kind of looks Aston Martinish to me. I don't know. I can't think of any other description. Let's go on the other side. And speaking of Aston Martin, I mean, even just the logo here, the emblem here, kind of looks Aston Martinish. I hate to say, I kind of wonder if there was a history, you know, with Chrysler and Aston Martin. I know Chrysler's had a lot of history. They had Daimler, Chrysler, Daimler, Benz had some history together. But yeah, I kind of do wonder if there's some history going on there. Yeah, but look at this interior. I really just love this kind of leather interior going here. You kind of have the neutral, that kind of silver, or yeah, it's kind of a gray, and then you have like the almost like a matte blue going on the gauge cluster there. That looks beautiful. Look at that. So I'll admit, a Chrysler PT Cruiser is not the first thing I would just look at or catch my eye, just because I'm so much into exotics, but I just really love the interior of this car. I just love the color coordination, and I do love this, how they kind of tried to, I don't know what they got, some kind of Aston Martin influence going on here. I'm gonna have to go and look that up. So here it is, this beautiful 2006 Aston Martin PT Cruiser. And again, it's not the first car which just catch my eye, but it is catching my eye though. Like I said, just so I actually did look up. I tried to look up kind of history of Chrysler and Aston Martin, only because just the inside of the car, the interior of the car, you know, looked like it was influenced by Aston Martin, but I couldn't find anything. And I think Ford actually had some stake in Aston Martin. I didn't see anything for Chrysler. Maybe it's something I ought to look up a little more. I just kind of did a quick search. But in any case, it's a pretty cool looking car. I kind of like this. So it's actually a single turbo in this car. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no, this is definitely a cool and interesting looking car. Very different from any of the classic cars that I've seen. And yeah, I remember it was a kind of a big thing back in the day. And it's really cool to see one of these out here. So check out this absolutely stunning and gorgeous 1952 MG Model TD. This thing's absolutely beautiful. Now at the British Car Show, I saw a lot of MGs, but I don't ever recall seeing an MG like this with that front grille and then that hood and everything. This thing is absolutely beautiful. So these cars were made from 1936 to 1955, I believe, and there was a number of models. There was TA, TD. There was a bunch of different models for these, and this car was actually known as a midget. And this is considered a sports car. The funny thing is, right around the 50s, the design was actually considered outdated. So they actually went with the MGA, if my history is correct. But anyway, I think for today's standards, this car absolutely looks stunning. So I kind of want to talk about this front grille here. So, at the British Car Show that I went to in Delaware, I saw a lot of the more modern MGs, and you had kind of more of the kind of more of the fronts that were kind of like Alfa Romeos, almost kind of like the one to my left there a little bit. That's kind of roughly what the MGs, if I'm recalling them correctly, look like. But in any case, they didn't look like this. They didn't have this whole front grille going here, and you actually have like four lights there. I don't know if it was one of the I don't even know, but you have like the four lights there, and they just look absolutely beautiful and stunning. And just I just love the shape of this car, and I just love how like the bottom part of the chassis just kind of goes up over that front wheel. That is so beautiful. And then you kind of have like that hood that opens up like a double-decker hood, for lack of a better term. Just beautiful. But what I really want to talk about is the interior of this car. I mean, this is so absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that dash. That dash is just so sick. Look at the wood, and then look at the shape of the dash. It's just so beautiful. My goodness, it's simplistic yet gorgeous. And look at again, you kind of have a similar attention to detail on the gauges. The gauges kind of have that metal going around the outside of each of the gauges. And you have like another gauge cluster over there. Just look at that. That is just beautiful. Just so retro and just vintage and gorgeous. Look at that. And then you have like these seats look so comfortable. These leather seats look so comfortable. I mean, the leather just looks so like, I don't want to touch it, but the leather just looks so like just soft. This looks like such a comfortable sports car. But look at that. That is so beautiful. Gorgeous. All right, so kind of like in similar fashion, they're not like a lot of cars here relative to the other car shows, but it does take a lot of time to go through all these cars, especially when you have cars as beautiful as this one here. Yeah, we haven't got too far in yet, so we kind of have still have a long way to go. I'm gonna swing back around here, so there's a lot of other cars to see here, but I'm probably just gonna gloss over most of the cars and just kind of go over certain ones. So let's get to it. It's got that 1988 Alfa Romeo. Very nice looking car. Beautiful day. Yeah, down here. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I just don't have a lot of time to really talk about these cars in detail, but this particular one, I just love that. I just love the exhaust. I love how the exhaust comes out of the side on this. And you kind of have like this sleeve on here. Look at that. You kind of have this almost like a protective sleeve or something on the muffler here, and it kind of angles out. I just love that. And it just makes the car look a lot more aggressive, doesn't it? I just love that. I love how that muffler comes out. Ooh, look at that light green. I just love the light green, dark green contrast. That is beautiful. Look at this. Look at this gauge cluster here. So here you have the gauges are kind of, looks like they're higher up at the top part of the dash here, and they're also very recessed, which I think kind of was a common theme roughly in the 60s and 70s, it looks like. And again, this whole dash is very, very large, as is the steering wheel. So it's just something, some commonality that I've seen in like the 60s, 70s cars. But I really do love the color. I love the color coordination inside the interior. Very nice. So this here is a 68 Oldsmobile 442. And just, this car is just so boss looking. And look at that. Look at the vertical stripe there too. I don't think I've seen that on any of the classics. But I do love that vertical stripe there. Let's kind of pan around here and talk about this car a little bit, even though I said I wasn't going to talk about cars that much. But this is beautiful. Look at the body. I mean, it's just a very big and imposing car, and you have like this really big, massive stripe on there too, and it's separated by that 442 on there. So, and then look at the wheels too. Look at the wheels on this thing. So, you know, the wheels are smaller, you know, but in any case, yeah, they're just beautiful looking.
Oh, I'd love you to be in the picture.
Look at this beautiful blue 1965 Corvette. Isn't she a stunner? Especially in the sun too. Look at how the sun just kind of ricochets off that blue. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Look at that. You got the rat on top of the engine there. Look at that. Beautiful. And I love these wheels too. I love the spoked wheels on this car. Gorgeous 502 there. And so that exhaust over there actually is an option. So yeah, you can just get it, you know, you basically get it as an option. But anyway, I just love the stance of this car. I love the shape too. And I don't know why, for some reason, I just have a tendency to compare like cars from different eras. Like for example, when I look at this car, I actually think of the Mercedes AMG, just because of the way the rear of the car kind of curves down. You kind of have a similar shape with the Mercedes, and you kind of have that long nose, you know, with the Mercedes AMG. But yeah, that's kind of one thing that I kind of see in common that this car has with the AMG. I'm gonna come in a little closer here. So he's got some signs over here too. So yeah, certainly making his statement there. But look at this. Let's go over here. Yeah, a little hard to see the interior from here, so I'll pan back out. But yeah, this is a beautiful and stunning car. But it's just kind of cool how this shape, you know, how the AMG, well, I shouldn't be, the AMG, the back of the AMG is a little bit more like less pronounced. The back of this car is a lot more pronounced because it's a lot more like, it's a lot longer, the back, and it kind of angles out and it's kind of sharper in the back too. So it's just a totally different design from the AMG, but it's kind of neat. I was talking at the last, I think previous car show I went to, the lights. The lights kind of ricochet, or they kind of reflect off the bumper, so it looks like it has 4 lights. So it's a bit of an optical illusion you have going there. But anyway, what a beautiful car. I'm sorry. But check out the 68 Ford Galaxy. Wow, I think it's absolutely stunning. I just love the interior of this car. And look at that 3-tone going. You have like that maroon, and then you have almost like off-white, and then a beige. You kind of have the same thing kind of going in the front there. This interior is absolutely stunning. Look at that. Let's go on the other side. And by the way, I was wrong. This is a 62 Ford Galaxy. So correction, 62 Ford Galaxy. So let's kind of pan around here.
And he also had one like that.
Yeah, let's kind of talk about this interior a little bit. So yeah, again, look at just how large the inside is. Look at how much space there is. And again, it's almost like the manufacturer is just trying to accentuate just the largeness and spaciousness of the interior, but again, just accentuating just everything large. Steering wheel large. Look at that huge gauge there, that huge rectangular, not rectangle, but that huge gauge where the speedometer just goes like, you know, left to right basically. It's not like your traditional circular gauge. And there's that whole dash is very, very big. And then you have like, you know, you have it running on the glove compartment. It's just so big. So everything about this car is just big. So I was wondering when it's on the dash there, I think it says Sunliner on the dash. So anyway, let's kind of pan back out. And you can see what a big imposing car this is. And it's almost like that was kind of the culture back in the 60s. You know, make these cars really big and really imposing. And that's kind of what was the selling point of these cars. So look at the back, look at the rear of this car. Look at those lights. And you're gonna have that grille too. So that's the kind of the funny thing with these cars, is that every single event that I go to, I just see something different, you know, that I haven't seen in any of the classic cars. And I've been to a lot of these shows by now, actually. But what I want to point out here, you know, you have the circular lights, and you kind of have this grille, this rear grille that I haven't seen in any of the cars before. Now, I have seen like the pronounced rear before. Again, these cars are all about being big. And then one thing I want to point out here, Galaxy is spelled Galaxie instead of Y, so that's kind of a nice little change up they did there. Just kind of pan back just to kind of see the cars that we went over already. And look at this! Wow, I think I have seen this car before. I can't remember if it was at the Burke show or if it was at the Ocean City one. I can't remember, but I know I've seen this car before because I will never forget that gorgeous paneling. So I mean, with this car, I just love how you have almost like three colors on the chassis. You kind of have the white on the top part, and then you kind of have that right in the middle. You sort of have sort of like this, I'm going to pan in on it actually, almost like a gold stripe going along the panel here. And then you have the green at the bottom, and then the top part is green also, but that just really makes the car look absolutely stunning. It's not surprising this car is so beautiful. This actually is a 57 Ford Fairlane. And boy, she is stunner. And I probably got this car in a previous video, but I don't care. I'm going to get it again because it's so beautiful. So there's the engine. Now let's kind of go over the interior. Yeah, I think I have seen this car, but I just, you know, again, look at that. The two-tone going there. And then the seats look so comfortable. And it's so big. I mean, this car looks big. And it looks so comfortable. And then the dash. And actually, you know what? I don't think I've seen this car. I don't remember this dash at all. Because again, there's something else I'm seeing here. So you look at the dash there, and it's almost like a part of a circle actually. Almost like I forgot what it's called, but it's almost like it's not straight, it's not circular. It's just kind of like an oval or something. But in any case, it's just really unique. I just really love how I see so many different features, such a variety of features, and how the features vary, you know, from car to car with these classics. But anyway, I just love the size, just the emphasis on size in these cars, and then the color too. It's just extravagance. Yes, look at this beautiful 1957 Ford Fairlane. So I kind of walked around her a little bit, and yeah, this is actually one of the more popular classic cars. I was looking up, you know, the most popular classic cars, and I think the 57 Fairlane came up on the list. But again, just such a beautiful car. It's just so beautiful to look at, and it's almost like I could just pan on it all day. But a lot more cars to see, so let's get to it. And just when I think I'm actually done talking about the car, I'm not. Because I just want to go over the rear of the car too. So again, it's very similar. You have like the really large rear. You have like those, you know, the round lights. But then look at the upper sides of the car. They almost look like, I don't know, wings or something, like small wings. It's weird. So you have sort of a diagonal here. So I'm going to pan in on it. So look at how the body kind of goes diagonally up. So I can just kind of add to the flair of the car. But God, I just love this. I just love the design of this car. But anyway, I got to keep moving. So let's go. So this is the main drag of Stone Harbor. Usually very popular summertime. So I'm going to pan on the cars here, and look at this one here. Look at this. Look how big this thing is. Just going to pan around it a little bit. Look at that. So this right here is the 1967 Chevy Chevelle, and it just looks so big and imposing. Just going to go to the interior real quick. But just look at how big, look at how huge that dash is. That whole entire front panel is just so big, and there's just so much room in this car. I just can't get over how much, you know, how much Chevy, Ford, just how much of these car manufacturers really emphasize emphasize the size and the roominess in these cars, you know, in the 60s and 70s. Amazing. So one thing I really want to emphasize about this show is that there's such a variety of cars here. So here you have like that Ford Galaxy that went over earlier, and then you have the I'm gonna keep walking here. You got the Ford Fairlane, that '57 Ford Fairlane, that gorgeous Fairlane, and then you have this oh, thank you so much. Sorry, you got that the '67 Chevelle here, Chevy Chevelle, and then look at what you have here. I'm gonna keep walking. Check this out. Look at that. You got a bug here. Isn't that cool? I'm gonna talk to this a little bit. Look at that. So this is a 1965 Volkswagen Beetle. I'm gonna kind of go around here so I can get a better look at it. Look at her. God, isn't she stunning? Look at those wheels. So I don't think I saw this at the Volkswagen car show, but this looks very much like one of the Volkswagens I saw. But the reason why I think I haven't seen it is because look at these wheels. So these are not your typical standard wheels or even close to any of the ones that I saw at the car show. But this is beautiful. Let's look at the engine here. Look at that. Look how clean that is. Isn't that gorgeous? So it's funny, we were just talking about a lot of people still have the conception that the engine's in the front, but no, the engine's right in the back. So this is a true rear-mounted engine. So Ferraris, Lamborghinis, they're all mid-mounted. No, this is right in the back. And look at that. You got the little action figure going there. And this is cool. Look at that. So this is a 65 Beetle. Look at that. I'm gonna go over the interior. Oh, looks like, look, my man beat me to it there. Look at that. He's gonna become a car lover right there. So, so now let's look at the interior of this car. Look at that. Wow. So look at the difference. So this is obviously much smaller. So again, just bear in mind, Volkswagen had a completely different mindset when they were trying to market cars in the States. But anyway, before I go into some history, let's look at the dash here. So here you have you don't really have the fancy leather. So I think again these cars were marketed more for like people that can afford these cars, more for the common person. So these weren't meant to be overly luxurious. But again, I love the metal over here, the beautiful red metal on the dash here. Very simplistic, but very, very beautiful. All right, so kind of just talking a little bit about the history of these cars. So when these cars were marketed, in the States, they had to go up against some of the bigger cars that were much more, more prominent and more preferred too. But I think the common thing with the cars back in the 60s and 70s, the American cars, they just dominated the market, and it was all about the bigger, badder, just more imposing cars. And you have this little Beetle here. So what Volkswagen did was they actually made comical commercials. The commercials were full of comedy. It's almost like they kind of made fun of themselves a little bit, but sort of in a sort of tongue-in-cheek, clever way. So actually they actually did get a large market. So Volkswagen actually kind of catered more to the counterculture. So a lot of the younger kids were getting these cars, and it was more about the counterculture. So this car was almost like a step in the complete opposite direction. But I kind of wonder if Volkswagen actually started like a different trend, and was kind of the first time where like people were not just looking at the just bigger, more imposing cars. They wanted smaller cars, not only that they could afford, but they could be proud of too. And now look, you have a lot of the Beetles are the Beetles are very popular now, and people are very creative with these Beetles too, as you can see. Like, look at these wheels, look at this car here. And this car has a suspension on it too, adjustable suspension, so it goes up and it goes down. I'm going to talk about the wheels real quick. Wheels here, so what happens is, I had asked if these wheels are stanced. What happens is this has an adjustable suspension on it, so when the car drops, the wheels actually do go out a little bit. So that's one little facet about this car. But these cars are very I'm trying to think of the right word. I can't think of the right word, but they're very I can't even think of the word. Hold on, I'm gonna stop the video so I can think of what I'm trying to say. Versatile. They're very versatile. These cars, are very amenable to customization and to being creative. So that's what I was trying to say. They're very versatile. But I'm going to pan out again. I just love the way this car looks. I love the red color. Even just standing out here, you can just see the interior from out here, and it just looks beautiful. And you got the action figures going here. So this car has so much presence. Even for not being a big car, it has a lot of presence. And look at this beautiful 1931 Ford Model A. Isn't she a stunner? Look at that. Let's go inside. Let's take a look at this. Look at these seats. I know these are probably not OEM. Yeah, I'm sure these seats were just kind of put in, but they look so comfortable. That's OEM. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just straight up retro. And look at that gauge cluster. God, that is so vintage. Straight up OEM. Oh, that's beautiful. Just off on. You have the off on starter there, and God, this is special. This car is absolutely special. Just gonna go and pan back over the cars we went over. It's just kind of cool to get a perspective, and I just love how you have that Chevelle right next to that Beetle over there. And that beautiful Ford Model A here. God, that's only a 31 Ford Model A.
There wasn't as much.
And you have a 64 Chevy Chevelle 300. Look at that. Look, you have the light blue roof with the white. That looks so fresh. Love those wheels. Let's kind of pan in. Oh wow. Oh, that interior is just absolutely stunning. Look at the blue. And you got that little car model on there, the model size car. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm gonna pan back out here so I can just kind of gaze over this interior. Look at the roof. Look at these seats. I just love the details. I love the pattern on these seats. God, these are beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at that. I love how they color coordinate this car. Look, I just love the pattern of the seats. And then the steering wheel, and you just have like the I just love the steering wheel. I love the look at the dash too. The dash is just so big, and you kind of have a blue. This is just absolutely beautiful. Check out this 1940 Ford Deluxe Coupe. In this car, there's nothing really overly fancy about this car. You just have it black, and the entire chassis is just black. But it just looks beautiful. It just has such a lovely presence to it. I love how you have the hood and the trunk open on this car, and I love the wheels. It looks very plain, but still has a really beautiful presence to it. Oh, that interior is so beautiful. Those seats, they look so comfortable. And wow, just wow. You know what I really want to point out here, I want to talk about is just this, you kind of have the silver, the really kind of bright silver, the silver paneling for the gauges, and then you kind of have that old font too. God, isn't that something? So you have that really old font and that silver paneling. It just looks beautiful. God, just this whole dash just absolutely looks gorgeous. But again, I just can't get over that old font. I love the font they used back in the day. Wow, so beautiful. It looks like that. So is that a Cadillac? Is that a Cadillac emblem I see on there? So I kind of wonder if you took a Cadillac wheel and put it on this. But in any case, wow, what a beautiful dash here. So here you have a 1956 Ford F100 pickup. And what I really like about this car is I kind of like how you have the wooden, you have the kind of wooden paneling just above the flatbed there, and then you also have like this really kind of like a mint green on here. That's really stunning. Let's look at the interior of this car. So we're to go up, pan in. Wow. This is probably the most simplistic, straightforward interior I've ever seen. So all you have is just a speedometer. Well, you have some gauges down there, but there's just not. It's almost like those other gauges are so small compared to the speedometer. So the main facet of this car is the speedometer, and it's all on one. It's all together. It's all part of one panel there. So like a lot of the other cars I saw were maybe a little bit more complex, and you have the gauges kind of scattered about on the dash, but all the gauges are just on that one kind of almost semicircle kind of thing there. That's kind of interesting with the steering wheel. This is kind of cool because you can see how the steering wheel and the sort of the you see the entire steering wheel, including that whole column that goes right down, right into the engine basically. So that's kind of cool. This is probably one of my favorite interiors, just how bare bones, rustic, and simplistic it is. I just love it. So here you have a 1955 Chevy Bel Air. Look at that. And yeah, I just love the striping I love the paneling there. You know, so it's not like you just have only just kind of like this blue going here, but you have the front stripe going. Yeah, the stripe, kind of the elevator stripe going along the front there, and then just kind of on the back, you kind of have the stripe kind of a little bit lower than the front one. So that kind of adds to the design of the car, definitely. So check out this 1955 Bel Air, and this is kind of the first time I've seen this. What I'm referring to is, again, the paneling. So you kind of have like the lining. So typically on these cars, I see a lot of the lining to be horizontal, that silver lining, or the paneling to kind of go horizontal. I've never seen something vertical like that. So you see where my finger is? You kind of have a vertical line, almost like kind of diagonal, going just from that first line up to the top. So that's something I really hadn't seen before. Maybe it was common in the Bel Airs or in the, in these cars, and I just didn't really notice them before. But that's kind of cool, and I like what the owner did with this. I love the wheels, so it just kind of adds to the aggressiveness of the car. And one other thing I want to point out: check out the muffler. Look how the muffler sticks out there. So I'm going to pan in a little bit. Look at that! Isn't that cool? I just love how it sticks out like that. So it's just kind of out there. I love that. That's such a cool feature of the car. So owner let me open the door. So I love how you can just pull this pull up like that. That's definitely very nostalgic. And then open the door and look at this. Look at this beautiful interior. God, look at those seats. Oh my goodness, those seats look so comfortable. And look at the blue and the not blue, green. Sorry, green colorblind. The green and the white there. Look at that, and wow, just wow. I mean, this is typical standard Chevy back in the day. Just look at how extravagant. Look at that dash. Look at the steering wheel. Look at the attention to detail. Look at the sort of that look at this. The silver on here, and then the freaking you kind of have that gauge cluster there, or that gauge over there, the speedometer, let's see, can I pan on there? The windshield. It's hard to do it with this phone, but just look at the attention to detail on this. And then you got a little bit of he's got something more up to date here, but look at this. Wow, I just love this. I love this dash here. God, I just love. You got the Chevy emblem right over there.
If you could see it better, just sit in it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, actually, that would be. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Yeah, that's better. Look at this. But wow, my goodness, you sit in this car, and it just feels. It doesn't seem quite as roomy as the other cars, but it's just. God, this dash is beautiful.
70 years old.
I just love the two-tone. I love the two-tone on here. So you have like the white going here, and you also have the green, and it even has a 55 written on there. Let me see if I can pan on there. Look at that. You can see the 55 on there. Isn't that cool? Look at this. Lovely. But check out the door too. Check out the I'm gonna actually shut this. But look at the yeah, look at the handles on those. You have this over here, the old school door handle, and you have this over here. You have the I guess this is for the side window. I actually don't want to mess with it. And you have the window over here, up and down. So over here like that, it's kind of cool because I actually grew up with cars not like this, but when I grew up, you didn't have like the power controls. You have everything was kind of manual. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Actually, I do want to try this. So look at this. So this opens the window like that. Isn't that cool? Look at that. So you can open the side window. Yeah, so basically all you do is turn this handle and that opens and closes the side window. Yeah, yeah, they definitely don't make them like this anymore. Wow, absolutely stunning.
Oh, a friend of mine
It's funny,
has
there's-
got a four-door, but he shaved the
Let them
handle.
talk actually.
So you don't notice it, but it's a four-door.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that this car is actually a four-door. And I guess maybe that explains even the different paneling on it too. But again, there's just so much attention to detail on this. And these seats, let me go back here. These seats are the original seats. I mean, the coverings, obviously they have new covering on it, but these are how the seats were. So that's just so impressive. So all the way back then, in the 50s, they had these really plush seats going here. So I think it's just all about the luxury. But boy, what a stunning car. There's a Chevy Bel Air. And look at this 65 Mustang. Look at that paint job. That paint job is something else. It's hard to tell from here, so I'm going to kind of go in on it. But look at the paint on there. Look at that. Look at this stripe. This is very, very well done. Look at that. And then the wheels on here. Wow, that is absolutely stunning. What a stunning car. Let me pan out on it. Boy, gorgeous. Oh, wow. Look at that interior. You know what we love about this interior is the black and all the silver on it too. Just look at that. You have like the silver just kind of stands out. Like just the silver around all the gauges, and then the silver knobs. You can't see on there. Silver knobs on there. And then over there too as well. And then on the doors. So if I pan back out, all the silver really stands out in this interior. And it's this interior is huge. I mean, what I mean by that is like the whole dash is just so prominent. And then look at that gauge cluster. I love that gauge cluster too. It's just stunning. Love it. All right, so I'd say we're kind of about halfway through. So we just got done this whole entire row of cars, all the way down to about the light, and then we got just some more cars on the other side to get. So yeah, let's get to it. You know, actually, I do want to talk about this a little bit. So this color. If I pan out here a little bit, you really have a nice looking blue on this Jeep here. You got the Scrambler written on there, and then when you go inside, you have the interior. You kind of have leather seats going here, and then look at the gauge panel here. It's actually lower. So a lot of these other cars, you'll have the gauge panel, see it kind of right up by the steering wheel, and then like some of these older like 50s, 60s cars. The whole entire gauge display is kind of scattered all about, is nicely presented almost all the way across a larger part of the dash. And this Jeep here, it's just in one part down here. It's kind of an interesting design here. So this is so retro, and this is very, very simplistic. There's not a lot of, doesn't look like there's a lot of really fancy materials in this car. But yeah, you just have a couple gauges over there, and you have like the old school radio down there. But it's kind of cool, and you have this Jeep written on there. So I think with this car, really wasn't about luxury or about really fancy materials. It's more about just the off-road experience. Just talking about this Jeep a little bit, I was just saying earlier that I don't think this Jeep really was made with the intent of having really high quality materials. And I'm not trying to bash the car in any way. I'm just saying it didn't appear to have the same high quality materials or attention to detail in the interiors that some of the other cars did. But again, that's really not the intent of this Jeep. I think more of the focus here was how this Jeep performs off-road, and more based on off-road performance than on just maybe just quality and intricacy of the inside of the car. What's funny is I just, I'm trying to get through this actually with minimal narrations so I can kind of go through it fast, but every single time I go into these interiors, I just see something else that I want to talk about. And like over here, look at how you have the square or rectangular gauges on here and how it's recessed. So this is something very different from a lot of the other cars that we've seen. You've had like the one, some of the other cars, you've had like the long rectangular gauge, long imposing rectangular gauge across like the whole dash. On some others, you have the circular, you have the gauge cluster. But this is interesting. You just have you have a bunch of rectangular gauges all recessed in the case inside this kind of rectangular dash here. So that's kind of interesting. So I saw my buddy again, man. So this car was at the Avalon campgrounds. So I got this one, you know, at a previous car show earlier this summer. But again, this car is just such a stunner. Look at this thing. Love the blue and then the white. Just absolutely beautiful. So I can never get tired of getting footage of this car. And just look at that absolutely stunning interior. And look at the gauge cluster too. Look at that. That is absolutely stunning, man. Gorgeous. So it never hurts to get more footage of the same car. I don't care. Because maybe those other people that watch this video that haven't seen this car yet. But yeah, look at this thing. Yeah, I just cannot get enough. I can't get enough of that interior. So, you know, I've got this Corvette multiple times actually. It's funny, I've seen this at the Avalon campgrounds, and I saw this at the Burke Motor Show and now at the Stone Harbor Show. So I've got like multiple footage of this car, but it's so beautiful. You can just never get tired of getting footage of this car. And even just from here, you can just kind of see that gorgeous looking interior. I mean, this is such a beautiful car. And also the owner, I love talking to the owner too. We just talk a lot about history and everything, and we were just kind of going on about the history of Volkswagen and then and the Nazis and then Unit 731. It kind of took sort of a depressing turn, but you know, again, it's just cool to be able to talk to the owner about, you know, about stuff and then see the car again. But anyway, let's keep moving. All right, got this MG here. Look at this. That's like an MG. I'm guessing it has a wooden panel. Yeah, kind of. Yep, does have a wooden panel, but it's different though. So this wood does not look like shiny like the other wooden panels I've seen in the other cars I've seen, at least from what I recall at the British show. But this is a beautiful interior, and this definitely does look very luxurious. I mean, just look at the quality of the materials on the dash. Yeah, it's kind of, there we go. They got the Fiat wheel there. Okay, so he's got a Fiat wheel on this. I kind of wonder if I've gotten this car before. I don't know why this looks familiar, but anyway, a very beautiful interior. Let me pan on this car again. Yeah, what a lovely looking car. It looks nice against the Stone Harbor backdrop too. Check it out. You got this Mercedes from the Burke Motor Show. Look at this, and we got our buddy back here. We got Dracula sitting in the back over here. Look at that. Good to see this guy again here. Look at this. Look at that. And that beautiful interior. Look at this. Look at this. The 52 Ford pickup. So this car actually won awards at the Burke Motor Show that I went to not too long ago. It's got 239 in it. Look at this beautiful. Look at the beautiful purple on here, and the owners let me sit in it too. So let's go. Let's open the door over here. Look at this. Oh wow! Look at, oh my goodness. Check it out. You got the Ford on here. So I'm gonna step on the Ford emblem here. Get in this beautiful car. Oh my God! Look at this. Shut the door, and the door feels so light too. Look at this dash. So this is straight up OEM. Look at this. So simplistic. Love the black, and then look at, now you got the this is not the same font as the other older fonts I've seen, but it definitely looks like an older font. But look at that. That is so cool. Then you have the some of the knobs over there, and then you have like the old radio too. Oh, this is stunning. God, I just love sitting in this thing. Man, I want to feel like driving this thing. This is beautiful. I love the large steering wheel and everything. I'm getting carried away now, but what a car. And I gotta do something here. Let's see what this does here. So if I can open this window up here. Oh, this is something else. Yeah, actually I'm a little bit reluctant to kind of play with the window there, because I've never really dealt with these windows before. But anyway, what a car. So here you have a 2008 Mustang GT. Look at that, isn't she fresh? Beautiful car.
Brother, way around.
By the way, that's my buddy over there. He owns that 57 Chevy Corvette that I keep lauding about.
Award. Down the other way.
So he had the green Austin Healey. And that thing was an absolute stunner. It was 106.
Joe American. Car
Car-
number 28. Steve Durer. 1968 Oldsmobile. Joe and German Durer. All right, I'll use it. Flip that around so that your face is the camera. There we go. You can check it here.
It's not his car.
At Bridgman, 1958 Cadillac. Flip it around. Don't break it.
So that is the Mayor's Award.
Covered Maryland.
So took out this 1972 Buick GSX. This thing's a beauty. So I believe the stock is 350. It's a 455 cubic inch V8 engine that produces 350 horsepower. And I think it came in white and Saturn yellow. But look at that. Is this supposed to be Saturn yellow? It looks more like orange to me. But wow, what a beautiful color. What a beautiful car, huh? Oh, what a beautiful truck that is. Well, that is a unique truck there. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, so looks like everyone's leaving the car show now. There's gonna be like a parade going on here, so I want to get this guy kind of going away. That's a beautiful Camaro he's got over there. But anyway, I'm gonna get some footage of these cars leaving and that should be it. So, yep, let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and do my wrap up now. So I'm going to get these cars as they are leaving. But yeah, this is a really cool event. You know, I probably spent too much time with some of the other cars, so I didn't get all the cars in detail, but that's okay. This was a really great event. But anyway, I'm going to have this posted pretty soon. So if you all enjoyed the footage, like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.